All right, dude, we are live. What's up, guys? This is Dem Keys, and we are live for the second time. We are doing a talking stream for the second time today. This is one of those rare occasions where I get to do a second talking stream in the day, and I'm excited about that. So I decided to, um, well, prior to finding out that I would be able to do a second talking stream, I was exploring Google AI Studio. Now, I've looked into Google AI Studio a tiny bit a while back when we were looking into the Kaggle 5-day Gen AI course. And throughout that time, okay, so to be honest, I didn't look too much into it at that time. I kind of put that on the back burner and I was like, okay, we'll explore it a little more once we actually get into this course. But then recently I've been seeing people using it a bunch for a bunch of different things. So I was like, rather than to waiting until I get to the, 5-day Gen AI course, which at this point I'm not really sure if I'm gonna do it or not. Um, Rather than wait for that, why not just go into it? Why not approach learning about Google AI Studio from a different angle? Um, so I did that, and I'm pretty I'm pretty excited about all the stuff that I can do, and I'm excited to learn about everything that is possible with Google AI Studio because I still don't know the extent of its capabilities, um, and that's what I'm trying to explore. So I tried asking DeepSeek, and I tried to approach it from the angle that, yeah, I've never heard of this, and I'm hearing about it for the first time, and I'm wondering, hey, what more can I do with it aside from just chatting with an LLM? Because there's so much more that you can do with it. Um, you can use it in many creative ways, and from what I understand, you can also use it in a way where you use multiple models and you kind of chain the models together, so the output of one model is the input of another model, and then it kind of just goes on, and somewhere in between you also have the option to fine tune models. I need to explore all of that stuff. That's what I mean. I want to explore Google AI Studio because um, from what I understand, you can use, actually, okay, something that I want to look into is whether I can load custom models into Google AI Studio, and if I can, what is the limit to the models that I can load? Because we have access to the different versions of Google Gemini, and each of those versions, they have like their different capabilities and their pros and cons. And the later versions are also multimodal models, so they can accept input in various forms, not just text form, which is amazing. So there's a bunch of different things that you can do with it, and I wanna explore what the capabilities are. So what I did is I tried asking DeepSeek. I keep calling it R1. Though I mean technically that's not wrong because it is DeepSeek R1. Like that's the model. I'm assuming that's the model that's loaded here. But okay, I tried asking. I was like, hey, so I just came across. I had loaded this up on a different machine. I'm just asking the question on this machine as well. And we're gonna get more or less the same answer, but I'm just gonna, well, we're going to get more or less the same answer, but it's going to be there's going to be tiny differences here and there, which is not it's not a big problem. Okay, I'm very confused as to what all we can do with it. I mean something more than just the usual chat with LLM. Okay. So now this is gonna give its whole reply. Um, hopefully it goes through the thinking process. Oh yeah, I think yeah, okay. All of that was the thinking process. So we're gonna read through this real quick. Let me go back to my notebook because another thing that I did is I set up the API key because Kaggle Notebooks, it has the option to set up secrets. So you can store something like a password or an API key or some other kind of OAuth token or something like that. You can store it in the secret, and then Kaggle provides you with API with an API. It provides you with an API to access that secret. So that way you can store the secret separately, and um, you don't accidentally leak it. Like for example, while live streaming, just as an example, and it's loaded up here. So if further from this point, if I need to use this API key, all I would need to do is use this variable. I would need to use it in once we start using, um, I think it's the Gen AI API. Basically, there's an API for Google AI Studio. I don't know if it's for Google AI Studio specifically, or if it's for. I think it has to be for Google AI Studio because the model is running within, or it's running through Google AI Studio. You're not running the model locally. Um, so yeah. I guess it's accurate to say um, API for Google AI Studio. What was I saying? Yeah, I'm gonna need the API key uh, when I'm trying to use that API. And fortunately, Google does provide an SDK to use the Google AI Studio API in Python. That's amazing. We're gonna get to that later on. For now, by the way, this is Google AI Studio. I was about to say API, but no, this is Google AI Studio, and there's like a bunch of different options here. You guys should check it out as well. If you have a Google account, then all you have to do is go to aistudio.google.com, and that'll bring you here, and you can fiddle around with the various models and the various modes that the models support. It's not limited to just text. It's not limited to just text input, but it's also not limited to just text output. There's multimodal input and output, which is amazing. And you can also like chain models together, which dude, it's crazy. I've seen people doing some crazy stuff with it. For now, okay, we're gonna carry. So okay, something I'm excited for is okay. I want to use Google AI Studio through their web UI, but I also want to use it through their API because that'll allow me to use it within a Kaggle notebook, for example, or within uh, within like a separate Python program that I'm writing. It'll allow me to use Google AI Studio through one of those external applications. So I'm excited to try that out. Now, let's read what this is saying. Uh, so I read the beginning of it already, but I'm gonna read it anyways. I'm gonna read it again. Okay, so I just found out about Google AI Studio, and I want to understand what exactly it can do besides chatting with an LLM. Let me think this through. Let me think through this step by step. First, what is Google AI Studio? From the name, it sounds like a development environment for AI projects. Maybe it's related to Google's AI tools like TensorFlow or their cloud services. But the user mentioned It's more than just chatting with an LLM, so it must have other features. The user is confused about its capabilities beyond basic chat. I need to figure out what Google AI Studio offers. Let me recall any information I have. Google AI Studio might be part of their Vertex AI suite, which is their managed machine learning platform. Yeah, Google AI Studio used to be called either Vertex AI or Vertex AI Studio or Vertex Studio or something like. There was a word Vertex in it. Um, I think that's what later on evolved into Google AI Studio. Okay, where was I? Yeah, which is their managed machine learning platform. But maybe it's a different tool. Wait, I think Google AI Studio is a web-based tool for prototyping with generative models, like the Gemini API. This makes sense because Gemini is their answer to models like GPT. Okay. So if it's for prototyping with Gemini, what can you do beyond chatting? Well, other than text generation, maybe image generation, multimodal inputs, fine tuning models, integrating APIs into apps, handling different parameters like temperature for creativity or batch processing. Okay. Also, maybe data analysis, creating chatbots, automating tasks, or generating code. Wait, the user wants to know something more than just the usual chat with LLM. So they're looking for advanced features. Let me list possible features. Multimodal capabilities, combining text, image, and maybe audio. For example, inputting an image and getting a text description or vice versa. API integration, building applications that use Gemini models, integrating into existing systems, custom model tuning, adjusting model parameters, providing examples for few shot learning, maybe fine tuning on custom data sets. Yep, that's something I'm looking to do. It says adjusting model parameters. Oh, okay, yeah, that's probably after the training. Okay. Um, Providing examples for few shot learning, maybe fine tuning on custom data sets. Okay, workflow automation, setting up chains of prompts for complex tasks like data extraction followed by analysis, collaboration tools, sharing projects with team members, version control, analytics and testing different model versions, analyzing performance metrics. I didn't even know you could do that. That's crazy. Okay. Data handling, processing large data sets, batch processing, data augmentation, deployment options, exporting models to mobile or web apps, deploying APIs, security and compliance, features for enterprise use like data encryption, compliance certificate. Okay, I don't know anything about this. I only understood the data encryption part, but not the rest. Okay, pre-built templates for common use cases like content moderation, customer support, etc. Let me verify these possibilities. Since it's a prototyping tool, maybe it's focused on rapid development, so features like prompt engineering with different parameters, temperature, max tokens, few shot examples, generating structured outputs like JSON, handling multi-turn conversations, and integrating with other Google with other Google services like Firebase and Google Cloud. Also, maybe it includes tools for analyzing model outputs such as safety filters, checking for biases, or toxicity scores. Okay. Could there be support for different languages or translation tasks? Another angle, Google AI Studio might allow users to prototype apps that use UI without writing much code, drag and drop interfaces, visual programming for workflows, or connecting to databases and APIs. Wait, but Gemini is a multimodal model. So you can input both images and text. For example, describe an image, generate images from text, or answer questions based on images. I've actually tried multiple of these, and yeah, it does work out. It does work pretty well. Like I tried handing it um, an image of, it was an AI generated image of of like a Mercedes Jeep. I forgot what it was, like a Mercedes ALG or some shit like that. It was a Mercedes Jeep, and I'd previously asked Gemini to make this Jeep, and I described a bunch of things, like I wanted so and so paint job, I wanted so and so modifications on it, I wanted these kinds of rims, these kinds of tires, and I wanted like a body kit on on the vehicle, and what else? I think I'd also mentioned neon underglow, and I also wanted it to be in a cyberpunk themed environment. And it generated a pretty decent, actually it wasn't just one image. I was able to take it like step by step. So I told it to generate this, and then I told it, okay, change that, and then change that, and then change that. So each time it kept giving me the output, I would tell it, okay, change this thing in it, then change that thing, then change that thing. So each time it takes the input from, what it generated previously. And that was wild in itself. But then now I was able to use that same old image because I had saved it on the PC, and then I tried uploading that to Google AI Studio, and it was giving me like a bunch of details about the image. And then I was also able to ask it to further modify this thing. It's wild. Like what we are able to do now. This is like some very high level stuff. You're not even going low level with this. You're just straight up using the models to do a bunch of things. You're not doing like low level stuff with this. Where was I here? Okay, yeah, drag and drop interfaces, visual programming for workflows, or connecting to databases and APIs. Wait, but Gemini is a multimodal model. So you can input both images and text. For example, describe. Oh yeah, this is where I'd gone off on that little tangent. Um, yeah, maybe even video analysis if that's supported. Also, considering enterprise applications, maybe features like generating code, SQL queries, or automating documentation. For content creation, maybe blog post generation, marketing copy, A B testing different outputs. I should also consider if there's a difference between Google AI Studio and Vertex AI. Vertex AI is more for building and deploying ML models, while AI Studio is perhaps a lighter tool for prototyping with Gemini. So AI Studio might be the entry point, and Vertex AI is for scaling up. I didn't know. Okay, so I was thinking that Vertex AI became Google AI Studio. And I think it was one of the LLMs that had told me that. I think it was Gemini that had told me that prior prior to Google AI Studio being a thing, that same thing was called Vertex AI. Though now I think Vertex AI, like this thing mentioned, I think Vertex AI is more used for like enterprise level things that need scaling up. Usually when you go on the enterprise level, you need to scale things up. Um I guess okay. So then if Vertex AI is mainly for scaling things up, I guess I don't need to look into it right now. For now, I need to focus on AI Studio. So summarizing, beyond chatting, Google AI Studio likely allows all of these things. Okay, cool. I need to make sure these points are accurate. Let me check if Google AI Studio's documentation mentions these features. According to Google's resources, AI Studio is a browser-based IDE for prototyping with Gemini models. It supports multimodal prompts, generating text from text and image outputs, code generation, and exporting to code. It also has a prompt gallery with examples, adjustable model parameters, chat applications with history, and safety settings. So the key features beyond chat are multimodal prompts, code generation, exporting to APIs, adjusting parameters, safety settings, and example-based learning. Also creating structured data outputs, which is useful for developers needing JSON or specific formats. True, true, yep, yeah, no, that is actually true. It just occurred to me that yes, this thing is able to output, if it's able to output JSON specifically, and you are able to use Google AI Studio through its API, that means you can get JSON output through this model. Okay, therefore the answer should list these features with examples, like generating code from a description, analyzing images, creating APIs, etc. It should also mention integration capabilities, customization options, and enterprise uses. Actually, I think I got the answer from its thought process. I don't think I need to. Let me just skim through this real quick. Yeah, it oh, you know what? It does give some information here. It's kind of, yeah, okay. Google AI Studio is indeed more versatile than a simple chat interface with LLMs. Here's a breakdown of its advanced capabilities organized by use case and functionality. Multimodal input slash output, or multimodal input output. Image plus text analysis, okay. Text to image generation, okay. Video processing, analyzing video frames or analyze video frames or generate video captions via API. Dude, I might be able to use this. Hold up, hold up. I might be able to use this. Yeah, I should, hold on. I should try using this. Like, okay, how would I, so okay, we can generate closed captions, right? How would I, there might be an extension. Well, it does mention API extensions, right? There might be an extension that also generates a subtitles file out of the output that's generated here. Or maybe I could use some other library to generate the SRT file. Um, and then that can be used. I can like plug that in directly into DaVinci Resolve, and I'll have the subtitles present right there. Dude, that's a great idea. Then, okay, so then I'm going to need to see how I can change, how I can customize the text for pre-made subtitles. Because in DaVinci Resolve, so far in terms of using subtitles, what I've been doing is I've been manually entering the text for the subtitles, because it gives you that option to, manually enter the text. And in their pro version, they, I think a year back or a couple months back or something, they also got this option for generating subtitles automatically. So now you're able to do that as well if you have. I think you have to have their pro version for that. I don't remember, but it's definitely not available in the free version. At least from what I remember, from what I've seen, it's not available. And you know what? That's fair. That's fair. Um, but yeah, I want to see to what extent I'm able to customize the look of the text of subtitles if the subtitles are being provided through an SRT file, because I've never actually done that before. Okay, code and data workflows. Code generation, write Python, SQL, or JavaScript from natural language prompts. Um, Example, generate a function to calculate Fibonacci numbers. Data transformation, convert unstructured text into structured formats like JSON or CSV. Automation, chain prompts for tasks like extracting data from emails, summarizing and storing in a database. That would be an interesting one. Definitely, that would be an interesting one. Yep, yep. In fact, it can be like, dude, there are use cases for this. There are so many use cases, especially because you can have structured you can have structured output, right? So in your own program, you can write logic that's going to do something with that structured output, process it in some way, and then pass another prompt. Um, you can, how do I say this? Pass another input to a prompt. That's basically passing another prompt. But yeah, API integrations and deployment. Prototype apps, build and test AI driven features, example chatbots, recommendation engines, and export code to integrate with apps via REST APIs. Okay, that's we're going to be doing that. Pre-built templates. Use templates for common tasks, sentiment analysis, content moderation, and customize them. Advanced model control, parameter tuning, adjust creativity, response length, and randomness. Okay. Structured outputs force the model to return valid JSON for seamless integration with other systems. This is what I was talking about earlier, where you can kind of get the output in a structured format, and because it's in a structured format, so you have predictability. Why did I stumble that word? You have predictability. Um, fuck. I stumbled the word and now I forgot what I was saying. You have predictability in what? Yeah, you have it's not predictability, that's not the word. Um it's like knowing what's the word? Defin no. No. Um there was a specific word. There was a specific word for it. Which I'm just not able to think of right now. Um you have what was the word? Fuck. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm blanking. What was the word? You have um it's a thing where you know what the output is going to be. It's not definitiveness. That is just not that is but it's something with a D, I think. What was the word? Okay, let me try asking. Hold on, give me a second. I'm trying to remember a word with ness in it, which is supposed to mean that we know the outcome of something, or that the outcome is very predictable. What is the word? Okay, so there's certainness. What was the word? Hold on, dude. I'm okay. This is something dumb that I'm focusing on right now. But okay, hold on. No, it's none of those, unfortunately. Um, the best. Okay, there's gonna be okay. I'm starting the ad break right. Well, okay, never mind. Fine. There's gonna be an ad playing in some time. I saw the ad timer, but I was just distracted with this. Hold on. Give me a second. We're gonna the best I'm able to come up with is definitiveness, but that's probably not the word I'm looking for. What do we say when we know the output of an algorithm or model based on an input? Oh, okay, there it is. All right, welcome back from the ad break. I just remembered it's definitive. No, no, it's deterministic, not Why did I say definitive? It's deterministic. I think that's the word I was looking for. I think so. Yeah, deterministic. So it didn't have a ness in it. But yeah, deterministic. So we know if we know that a specific model is gonna return data in a fixed format, it's like it's deterministic. Like we know it's gonna be in this specific format. Then we can write the rest of our we can program the system accordingly because we know that we're going to get so and so input from so and so model, and we can then process that input accordingly and pass new input out of that. We can process that and get our whatever we want, and then pass that as new input to another model. And this way we'll be able to build fairly complex systems, something a lot more than just passing text to one prompt, or passing text to one model and then getting text back, and then passing that text to another model and then getting text back. We can do a lot more complex things when the output is structured, and when the format of the output is already determined. So like we know that, yeah, this is going to be the output. It's not just going to be some kind of text. Also, okay, there's safety filters for controlling toxicity, violence, and sensitive content. That's interesting. We're going to have to test that out. Okay, enterprise and collaboration. Team sharing, collaborate on prompts, share projects, and track iterations. That'll be interesting to experiment with. I don't plan on doing that. Like I don't plan on using that a whole lot, but it'll be kind of interesting experimenting to see how collaborating on prompts works and how collaborating on projects works specifically in Google AI Studio. Creative business applications. Draft marketing copy, blog posts, or social media content with brand specific tone adjustments. Task automation. Generate meeting notes from transcripts, automate customer support responses, or create personalized emails. Analytics and optimization. Okay, okay, cool. Example workflow. Okay, this is a good example. So you upload a resume image and extract the structured data using multimodal input. Then you generate a summary in JSON format and then feed that JSON into a job matching algorithm via an API, and then automate the follow up emails to candidates using a templated prompt. Okay, cool, cool. Key differences from basic chat: no code prototyping, quickly test ideas without writing full code, enterprise scalability, seamless transition from prototyping to production on Google Cloud, multimodal flexibility, combine text, images, and code in a single workflow. In short, Google AI Studio is a sandbox for innovating with generative AI across text, code, images, and integrations, ideal for developers, product teams, and businesses prototyping AI features. Hell yeah, hell yeah. All right, so there's this Google AI Studio Quick Start page. We can start from here. Actually, I wanted to look into. Okay, Google AI Studio lets you try out models and experiment with different prompts. When you're ready to build, you can select Get Code and your preferred programming language to use the Gemini API. Okay, where's Get Code? Oh, is Get Code that thing? Hold on, that was Get Key, right? Give me a second. Oh God, why is this slowing down? No, that says Get API Key. Oh, there's get code here. Get template API code for your prompt in different languages. Get template API code for your prompt in different languages. I'm not sure what this does. Give me a second. I don't want to click on something without so I'm gonna click on this on a different system. Checking API keys. Okay. You can run this prompt from Google API. Wait, after installing the relevant package. So in this case, we are doing Python. Um, Okay, so there's an example here. There's also an entire repo of examples. I think I don't think wait, where was that? Dude, I need to be careful of what I click on here. Okay, this is interesting. So there's a thing for okay, so they have something called prompt gallery, which I'm gonna open up here. And this gives you a bunch of options for things. Explore prompt ideas for working with the latest Gemini models. Okay. Um, which one should we go for? Create a set of math worksheets. Okay, city scavenger. Create a scavenger hunt. Okay, solve geometry problems. What does that mean? Twisted search. Code optimizer. Trip ideas. Marketing AI. list from image. Create a list of items from an image. Okay. Coffee bot. Order coffee from a virtual barista. You know what? Let's do this. Let's do this. So let's see what this is like. Okay, customer. How much is a cappuccino? Oh, back up. This whole, oh God, the whole thing is already generated. All right. Hold up. Real conversation. Customer, I'd like a latte and a cappuccino. Okay. Run, I guess. Okay, I guess I could look into. Wait, so why is it already outputting so I haven't even checked structured output yet it's outputting in JSON. So what's going on here? You are a coffee you are a coffee order taking system. Oh, okay. You're a coffee order taking system and you're restricted to talk only about drinks on the menu. Do not talk about anything but ordering menu drinks from the customer ever. Okay, your goal is to finish order after understanding the menu items and any modifiers the customer wants. You may only do a finish order. Oh, do finish order. That's interesting. Okay, so I was wondering why finish order is written like that. Apparently, finish order is some kind of signal. So this is either a method that's going to be called, or it's some kind of um, mode that's going to be set, or some kind of flag that's going to be set. You can only do finish order after a customer has confirmed the order details from the confirm order move. Always verify and respond with drink and modifier names from the menu before adding them to the order. If you are unsure a drink or modifier matches those on the menu, I zoned out big time. Hold on. If you're unsure a drink or modifier matches those on the menu, ask a question to clarify or redirect. You only have the modifiers listed on the menu below: milk options, espresso shots, caffeine, sweeteners, and special requests. Once the customer has finished ordering items, summarize order and then confirm order. Okay. Order type is always here unless the customer specifies to go. Hours: Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Man, you can give, holy shit, this is like specific. Uh this is giving like working hours and then prices. All drinks are free. Okay. Menu: coffee drinks, espresso, americano, and cold brew. Coffee drinks with milk, so and so, so and so. Tea drinks with milk. Okay. Other drinks. Okay. Modifiers. That's all the modifiers. Okay. Order types: here to go and no, here and to go. Okay. For every turn, perform one or more of the moves listed below. Dude, okay, so we are defining the entire program in text form. That's crazy. Holy shit. This is crazy. We are like, okay, so generally we would have like this kind of thing. This kind of thing when you're coding it out, you would have these kinds of signals and stuff, and you would work out a sort of loop that the program goes in, where it takes the order. Throughout the process of taking the order, there are certain steps that have to be followed, and usually they have to be followed in order. And then after all of that is done, you restart the loop, and in between, like, all of these things, you have like various methods or various events that'll fire. This is crazy, dude. So here we are defining, here they're being called moves. Check menu, add to order, summarize order. um okay, all right. Okay, respond in the following format. Okay, so this is where we are defining the JSON. Dude, this is insane. We are able to specify the JSON format. This is crazy, dude. Give me a second. Okay. All right. So respond in the following format. Move one, a string with one or more of the following values. Sorry, zoned out. Okay. Um, move two, three, four. Okay. So there can be up to four moves, and then order type, and then response, and then current order. Okay. Examples. Customer, show the menu. Okay, so that's the thought. The customer wants to see a menu, so I will let them know that there's a toggle button on the left which displays the menu. Okay. Our response. Sorry, I seem to be dissociating. Just kind of getting distracted randomly. Okay. Response. Sure. Okay. And then current order. Then customer. When are you open? What are your hours? So okay. Oh, you know what I could do? Okay, so I could be the customer. I could be the customer. Right. So, customer. Hey there. Actually, no, the thing is, like, the barista here is meant to just take the order, right? What if I say hello? Oh, okay. So it always gives output in this format. Okay, so the customer used a greeting, so I will respond with a greeting and ask what they would like to order. Now, okay, so this is something interesting, right? There's no code being used here. I initially, when they kept saying no code, I was kind of calling bullshit, because I was like, dude, there's some amount of code that has to be used, right? But no, to a certain, I mean, I'm sure there are limitations of doing this, but still, to a certain extent, you can actually use this with no code, because up here, look at this. We defined all of this through a prompt. We defined everything, and it understood the assignment quite literally. Where does thought come in? How does it know that it's supposed to? Because I didn't read all of this, because it's like a lot of text to read, so I didn't read all of it. So I'm not sure how it knows what it's supposed to put into thought. That's the order. Okay. Where's thought specified here? Okay. Response current order. Where's thought mentioned here? So thought is first mentioned. Oh, respond in the following format, starting with a. Oh, that's where. Okay, okay, okay. My bad. Right. So we are also describing what exactly each of these fields is supposed to be. Um. So here it mentions. Holy shit, dude! This is so. This is like advanced. This is crazy, dude. This is crazy. I never thought about using an LLM in this manner. This is insane, dude. Like usually we would need to set this up like through code, and we would need to set up that okay, this is the JSON format, and we like define a class that's going to have all of these properties, and there's going to be like enums and stuff like that. Well, enums or lists, or like a combination of the two or whatever. Assuming we are doing it in Python, there would be a very different way of going about this. But here it's all just specified through a prompt. Dude, this is insane. This is actually insane. Yeah, I'm gonna need to try this method. I'm gonna be doing it through code, but like through code, I want to try out this method and see how that works. This is crazy, dude. Okay, customer said, "Hey there." So the move is to greet. Okay. Oh, is that one of the specified options? Is that um one of the moves that it can take? Greet. Okay. Oh, okay. So we are specifying a list of moves that the bot can take at any given moment, and then it takes. So it says move one here. Under what scenario would there be multiple moves? Let's try. Okay. Greet. Okay, the response is, "Hey there. What can I get for you today?" All right. Current order, drink, latte, modifiers, and then drink, cappuccino, modifiers. Um, Customer, I'll have a latte, please. What if I don't add customer? Because like I think the bot would assume that it's talking to a customer. Yeah. Okay. The customer wants a latte. I will check if latte is on the menu. Oh, that's where the moves come in. Okay, okay. Then add it to the order and summarize. Okay, so check menu, add to order, summarize order, and then confirm order. Order type here, okay. Response, okay, one latte. So one latte, so far you have one latte. Is that correct? Yes. The customer confirmed the order. I will now finish the order. Finish order, okay. Oh, this is interesting, dude. So it like carries on. It's how do I even say this? Like it carries on the actions. How do I even say this? It's kind of like maintaining its memory that yes, this order was taking place, or this is what was happening. So it's like it's able to handle like multi-step communications, multi-step interactions. Where was I? Response. Okay, response. Great. I've sent your order to the barista. Have a great day. Okay. So that is done. Hey there. Let's try again. The customer used a greeting, so I will respond with okay, all right, okay. So finish order is here. Now, finish order is a signal, right? Your goal is to do finish order. Okay, so we specified that yes, the bot has to do this. That is the goal. Okay, let's test something out here. What is your goal? The customer has asked about my goal, which is outside the scope of ordering. I will redirect them to order a drink. Redirect. My goal is to help you order your drink. What would you? Okay, okay. Um, dude, this is interesting. This is interesting. Dude, this is okay. That's all I'm able to say. This is interesting. This is really interesting the way that they've set this thing up. Yeah, that's crazy, dude. Holy shit. This is wow. Okay, okay. So this is cool. Now I want to check out one of the other things. Chart decoder. Identify elements in a hurricane chart. Blog writer. Sentiment check. Research buddy. Analyze a research paper. Actually, I might use this for analyzing a bunch of the white papers that come out for various models and various architectures and stuff. Confusion matrix, generate a confusion matrix in Python. Okay. Shape sequencer, find the next shape in a sequence. Plant care, identify and care for your plants. Docker setup. Santa Santa's mailbox. Find brands. Recipe finder. Game character, design a game character with context. Tone changer, adjust writing tone to fit your needs. Regex wizard, that is going to be super, dude, this is going to be used so much. Next, eclipse and weather search. Okay, let's try game character. Oh, what is this? Okay, so insert an image by selecting from or so and so. Okay. Wait, What am I looking at here? Dude, this is crazy. Hold on. There's a lot to explore here because I remember looking at something like this where we could we could change what the outputs look like. I don't remember where. I think it was under structured output. Like that's how you get this, right? Once you add examples, test your prompt by writing new text and clicking run. Like the response, add it to your prompt examples to improve the prompt. Okay, how do we add this kind of thing? Also, how do we add this kind of thing? Okay, so there's something here called actions. Add input call. How do we set up this whole thing? Write a character write a character design in a pirate themed game set in the Joseon era. Okay, so this is okay. I like that it's mentioning the. I actually haven't seen this before. This thing that's popping up here. But it's good. It's mentioning like I think either analytics or price or both. I'm definitely seeing price, but because they have a sort of like from what I understand, they have like a pay as you go model, and they also have a free tier which I'm on right now. I want to use this for free as much as I can so that I can understand like so that I can explore this well and understand the power of it. And then if I feel it's worth investing in, then yeah, I can definitely you know, put some money into it. And from what I've seen, it's also not that expensive. Because let me show you guys hold on. I don't know if it's gonna show something that I don't want it to show. Give me a second. There's settings, and then under settings, there's API plan information. Um, okay, yeah, this is it. So I can switch back. Right, so this is the thing. Give me a second. Yeah, so this is the thing. So under the free tier, we have like a. I'm not sure if so. Okay, I'm assuming RPM is requests per minute, and TPM is probably tokens per minute. I don't think M is month. I haven't understood what RPD is. Maybe D might be days. Oh, that makes sense. Actually, D might be days, right? So 1,500 requests per day is a lot. Like, okay, assuming it's the API, I don't know if requests are counted in like, um, I don't know if requests are counted when you're using the web UI, but like through the API, yeah, it can track your request. I mean, it can track requests through the web UI as well. I'm just not sure in what ways are they doing it. I need to look at. They have like a separate documentation section which describes these things, which mentions how how the billing is done and how usage is tracked. They also have a separate page where you can see your usage stats, how much you have been using. I'm not sure what exactly they're tracking, but like they'll give you stats. They'll give you stats of your usage, so you can then figure out exactly how much you have been using this thing, and I don't know whether you want to pay for it or you want to continue using it as it is. And you have like you have a bunch of different options as well for like in terms of models. Learn LM, was is this connected to Notebook LM? I don't know, but yeah, they have a bunch of options here, and for each option the pricing kind of varies, and they also have their different strong points, let's say. Dude, I'm curious about how you get this thing. Like there's this whole thing set up for, how do you get this UI is what I'm wondering. Okay, let's check this, I guess. There's a Yeah, how do we get this table? Must have at least one input. So there has to be a thing for defining input, defining the kind of input that you can have. Where exactly do we do that? Where exactly do we define the input? Are these, hold on. Wait, let me see the documentation. Let me see the documentation. You know what? This might run me through. Yeah, yeah. This might run me through some of those features. Oh, it also goes into tuning a model. Hold on. Where's there was an option somewhere here. Tune a model. Okay, so there's quite a bit for me to look into. To learn how to craft better prompts, check out the prompt design guidelines. I think that can help me. I think that can help me. So, okay, we are currently looking at quick start, right? Let me just look at the wait, okay. What does this quick start do? This is the same thing, right? Or is this for the Gemini API? This is for the API. All right. What about just in general? Wait, how did I get to this Google AI Studio Quick Start? How did I get to this? So we have Gemini API. Under Gemini API, uh, I think I'd seen the option somewhere for yeah, I don't remember how I got to the thing. Like, okay, I clicked on Quick Start, and then what is it that led me to the Google AI Studio? quick start thing. Okay, I don't remember how I got to it, but I'm glad that I got to this bit first. It says it should be under Gemini API. And how did I get there? Use Gemini and so and so. Okay. Yeah, how did I get to it, dude? I'm still glad that I got to this first. Or maybe I just clicked, maybe I just searched for Google AI Studio. Oh, that's what. Okay, I typed Google AI Studio Docs, and I'm glad that this is what popped up first, not the API. Okay, so this is Google AI Studio Quick Start. But how do I get to this from here? So here it seems to be under models, but then under models, this is still coming up. So what if I click Quick Start here? This is the Gemini API Quick Start. Okay. Under models, let's try Gemini. That's not what I'm looking for. Okay. Uh, yeah, dude, they just don't have the option. I had to get here from, that's crazy, dude. I had to get here from Google. What if I click on cookbooks or cookbook? Oh yeah, that goes to the GitHub, and there they have a bunch of examples for various things that you can do. Though, okay, these are Gemini API examples. I should keep that in mind because I'm planning on using the Gemini API as well, not just Google AI Studio. Um, but dude, that's crazy that I got to this bit and now I'm not able to get to this from. Okay, let's click on models. I'm trying to get back to this. Okay, use Gemini in Google AI. No, this takes us to that. Okay. I'm trying to get back to this documentation page, but it's not. Okay, let's try this. Gen AI SDK. Okay, I'm going to be using that later on. And then this is all about using the. Man, that's crazy. That is crazy. It is just not giving the option for Google AI Studio. Well, shit, dude. I'm glad that I looked it up on Google first because holy fuck, dude, the documentation just doesn't want to lead me to. Oh, there it is. It is fucking buried, dude. Here's where it is. It's under guides, additional resources, Google AI Google AI Studio Quick Start. That is insane. That is insane. Okay, I'm interested in this as well. Gemini Nano on Android device. Gemini Nano is so and so, so and so. Okay, okay. How do we get? Yeah, this is executing on. Yeah, yeah. This is executing on the device itself. Quick start for Google AI Client SDK for no. Okay, I guess not. Google AI Edge SDK for Android. Yeah, okay. Maybe I don't think. Wait, it Well, I thought it's running on the device because it kept mentioning on device, right? So like the model is running on the device directly. It doesn't always need to connect to the cloud. Okay, you know what? Okay, we'll go step by step. I don't want to go too deep. I think it does run on the device itself. I don't think, because otherwise they wouldn't be making such a big deal out of it, right? If it was just an app that was making API calls, like that can be done very easily. I don't think it's just that. I'm pretty sure it runs on the device. I remember reading about this as well a while back, specifically about Gemini Nano. Um, but yeah, okay. Stepping aside from that, yeah, yeah, I'm excited, dude. I'm excited. I'm gonna explore this much more. I think I'm gonna use the web version for a while. Though now I'm curious, what exactly are they teaching us here? And okay, what's under libraries? Oh, it's just that. Okay. Now, once we have installed the library, let's say we've installed the library, then what? Oh, okay, then we look at one of these. So here they give examples. Okay, all right, cool, great. Yeah, yeah, here it is. So the different capabilities. Do we have to like specify a task? Client model, generate content. Okay, let's say we're talking about image generation. Okay. Um, just okay, client.models.generate content, model so and so. Okay, content equals contents, that's the prompt. Then we have response modalities, text and image. Okay, and then we get our result, which is this. All right, there's audio understanding, there's vision, there's long context, structured output, thinking. What comes under thinking? Also, function calling. I'm interested in that. Okay, the thinking models. That's their. That's like the reasoning thing, right? Like it. Yeah. The the model is trained to generate the thinking process that the model goes through as part of its response. As a result, the Flash thinking model is capable of stronger reasoning capabilities in its responses than the Gemini 2.0 Flash experimental model. Okay, all right. So each time it seems like all we have to do is call client.models.generate content, and then we have like the specific arguments that have to be passed in. Obviously the model, and then the contents, and then the modalities. And I need to see the API docs to see what all arguments they have. Let's look into function calling. Okay, using the Gemini API function calling feature, you can provide custom function definitions to the model. The model doesn't directly invoke these functions, but instead generates structured output that specifies a function name and suggests arguments and suggested arguments. You can then use the function name and arguments to call an external API. And dude, I had this in mind. I actually had this in mind. I actually had this in mind. Yes, this is going to be useful, and you can incorporate the resulting API output into a further query to the model, enabling the model to provide a more comprehensive response and take additional actions. Function calling empowers users to interact with real-time information and services like databases, customer relationship, management systems, and document repositories. The feature also enhances the model's ability to provide relevant and contextual answers. Function calling is best for interacting with external systems. In your If your use case requires the model to perform computation but doesn't involve external systems or APIs, you should consider using code execution instead. Okay? Okay. All right, cool. So there's a lot to dude, there's a lot to explore here. There's a lot to explore here. And I'm glad that I found this because I actually had a use case for this. There is a use case. There's a use case for this, definitely. Especially something that, let's say, for example, something that could control, something that could take actions, an agent, an AI agent that can take actions on your PC. You would need function calling for something like that. But it can also be like an AI agent that takes actions in your program to either invoke other programs or just invoke specific functions within your program. It can be useful in so many different scenarios. I'm going to test this out. I'm definitely going to test this out. Uh, Document understanding. Okay, so yeah, that's going to be, well, document understanding basically. Not much to not much more detail required there. It basically is going to summarize. It can do various things like summarizing a document and answering questions about a document. I'm assuming. Let me just make sure I'm not wrong about that because that's what I understand. Yeah, explore document processing capabilities with the Gemini API. The Gemini API supports PDF input, including long documents. Oh, wow, up to 3,600 pages. Gemini models process PDFs with native vision and therefore and are therefore able to understand both text and image contents inside documents. All right, cool, cool. Grounding. Yeah, I didn't understand what this is. Grounding with Google search. The grounding with Google search feature in the Gemini API and AI Studio can be used to improve the accuracy and recency of responses from the model. In addition to more factual responses, when grounding with Google search is enabled, the Gemini API returns grounding sources, inline supporting links, and Google search suggestions along with the response content. The search suggestions point users to the search results corresponding to the grounding response. All right, then we have fine tuning. I also want to look into embeddings. Prompt design strategies such as few shot prompting. Dude, I just realized that this, like them providing all of these tools, it it's gonna like crank up the usage of their models so much more, like by an insane amount, because they have a bunch of these different models, but they also provide different tools, different ways that the models can be used, and then they also provide an API. That's crazy, dude. Okay, what does this lead to? Is this just like a definition? If you'd like a more general introduction to customizing LLMs for specific use cases, check out LLM fine tuning in the machine learning crash course. Wait, they have a machine learning crash? Oh, I think I've seen this before. There's 12 modules. Wait, it's only 15 hours? Okay, what are we going to be learning this through? Okay, linear regression, logistic regression, classification. Okay, working with numerical data, categorical data, data sets, generalization and overfitting, advanced ML models, neural networks, embeddings, large language models. Learn how embeddings allow you to do machine learning on large feature vectors, real world ML, production ML systems, auto ML. That's a .NET thing, isn't it? Learn principles and best practices for using automated. Now, maybe that's actually. I think I remember seeing auto ML in like the ML.NET library. but like, okay, I can read up on that more. ML fairness, okay. Best practices for auditing ML models for fairness, including strategies for identifying and mitigating biases in data. Okay. I'm wondering if we should do this. Okay, what if I click on start? Is it going to ask me to like log in or something? No. Holy shit. It's not going to ask me to log in. Explain a loss function and how it works. Define how gradient descent finds the optimal model parameters and learn how fine tuning. Okay. 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 All right. So this is going into wait, this directly jumped into linear. Yeah, this is linear regression. Okay, cool. Great. Then models with multiple features. Although the example in this section uses only one feature, the heaviness of the car, a more sophisticated model, might rely on multiple features, each having a separate weight. Okay, okay. All right. Move on to loss. Wait, why is exercises before wait, what's going on? Hold on. So we have the crash course. Okay, so we start the crash course. Okay? And then there's already a back thing. Let's take a look at all the modules. Hold on. Browse course modules. So the first is here. How does exercises come in? Like directly? Is it because of this? Because it says 100 plus exercises? Okay, let's visit the prerequisites. Before beginning machine learning crash course, do the following. If you're new to machine learning, take the Introduction to Machine Learning. This is a short self-study course. This short self-study course introduces, dude, I should remember this. First of all, so I can like go through it because I'm already well into machine learning and data science. But in case if anybody asks me for, where should I start? I think this is a good starting point because this gives you a bunch of different like links in case you don't have the prerequisite knowledge. And I mean, in general, if somebody did ask me that, hey, I wanna get into machine learning, what should I start with? My recommendation would be, first of all, learn Python, definitely, and then in Python, you want to learn how to use the NumPy library, pandas, and matplotlib. Start with these three, and then uh, explore scikit-learn so you can get a taste of data science. And then if you want to go into deep learning, look into, well, with scikit-learn actually you can get a taste of both data science and ML because there's like a mix of the two in there. And then if you want to go into deep learning, go into PyTorch. So that would be like my recommendation to people. But then there are a couple of other sources where they have like a more structured approach. So like they run you through a course, and like different approaches work for different people. This structured approach, it just doesn't work for me because my mind just doesn't work in that way. I keep jumping from one thing to another. So I have like a very scattered approach. I usually call it a very broken way of learning, but like it's my way of learning. Like it's a very scattered approach. I learn whatever I want to whenever I'm interested in learning it. So like the structured course kind of method doesn't work for me, but I know plenty of people for whom it does work. And so they should definitely go check out like the Kaggle course and this course by Google. And I'm sure there's a bunch of other courses as well. But yeah, dude, good to know. Good to know. So I'm pretty sure I have the prerequisites. Let's take a look at the machine. Wait, what did I? Okay, let's open this up. Intro to machine learning. Foundational courses. Okay. All right. Wait, what else do they have under the foundational course? Intro to ML, ML crash course, problem framing, managing ML projects. This is crazy, dude. This is crazy. Okay, is it all just in one thing? Okay. What is machine learning? All right. Oh, wait, hold up. There's a video here. Oh, yeah, this is going through all of the basics of ML, like, supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning, and then there's classification and um, prediction. Oh, this is interesting. So it also goes into like generative AI. Now it's added generative AI in here as well. Okay, that's interesting. So back when I was learning machine learning, or when I started like learning the theory side of machine learning, um, it was it mainly focused on supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. There was also semi-supervised learning, but like that was kind of like part of supervised learning. But yeah, it was mainly those three things. Uh, and now generative AI has become a thing as well. There's an ad playing, so yeah, I guess I'll take my hydration break. I'll see you guys in 30 seconds. Okay, welcome back. It is super awkward doing this right after an ad break is over. Okay, but I've been streaming for an hour and a half. So and my voice is also starting to, get stressed. So I think I'm gonna end the stream here. I'm definitely gonna carry on reading this, and whenever the next whenever the next talking stream is, we are probably gonna be doing more of Google AI Studio, because like I'm excited, dude. I'm excited to do both Google AI Studio and use the Gemini API to do various things, because dude, there's a fair bit of stuff that you can do with this. Like holy shit. And there's so much to explore, and I want to explore as much as I can on stream, if that makes sense. Um and I'm hoping that I'm able to do more of the talking streams while I'm learning this, but let's see how well that works out. But yeah, that's going to be it for now. Give me a second. Yeah, that's going to be it for now. I'm going to carry on exploring this because I'm excited and there's quite a bit to explore here. Uh, but yeah, dude, that's going to be it for now. This is like the third or fourth time I'm saying that's going to be it for now. So that's going to be it for now. I hope you guys have a nice day, and I'll see you all next time.